I am sailing home again.
So hello everyone and welcome to our Classical Crossover Magazine interview with Gruffydd Wyn. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. You keeping well?
I'm keeping well. I think I just butchered your name there, so show me the proper Welsh pronunciation. Is it Gruffydd?
Yeah, so it's Gruffydd Wyn.
Gruffydd Wyn.
Yeah, Gruffydd, yeah.
Do you actually speak Welsh?
I do, yeah. My first language is Welsh.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So I speak Welsh at home and round the town, so.
Well, that's all
Welsh
really
is my
cool.
first language, yeah.
Very nice. So most people speak it in your area, or?
Yeah, majority, yeah. It's a predominantly Welsh village that I live in, and North Wales is quite a Welsh area. So yeah, it's good here. It's nice, speaking the mother tongue.
Are you anywhere near? There's these famous YouTube videos now of all these goats coming out. Are you anywhere near that?
Yes, so it's just along the coast from Anglesey. So it's not about 45 minutes in the car to there. So yeah, not too far.
It's awesome. I love goats. So I was just like, this is brilliant. And I think you guys, do you also have a mascot for your rugby team that's like a goat?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not too sure, but I think so.
The weird facts I pick up. So, growing up, were you doing sports and then you kind of did music, or were you doing both?
Growing up, mixture of both, really, around here. I was member of a football team when I was younger, and then I quickly changed into rugby as my body developed, and I was, during all that time, I was kind of into singing and acting and that kind of stuff as a kid. So I was doing, acting classes in different schools, and then I think it was at the age of about 9, 10, maybe a bit younger. I was I was in a choir and stuff like that, and that's where the love for music kind of kicked off for me back then. So it was quite nice.
And you grew up, there's so many amazing singers from Wales, Bryn Terfel, Tom Jones, all these people. So do you grow up kind of maybe going and seeing them? I know the Fainal Festival used to be a big thing. I'm not sure if it still is.
Yeah, the Fainal Festival. I went to one of the last ones when I was a kid. I remember watching Westlife there.
Oh, nice.
And a Welsh evening, and I also watched Bryn Terfel there as well. And it's little things like that when you're growing up that kind of give you a bit of an idea of what you want to be doing when you're a kid. When you're a kid, you want to just be a footballer or a rugby player or a singer, or it's never but actually I did want to be a singer from a very young age, or a performer at least.
And so when you went to college, was it you went originally for acting, or?
Yeah. So I went to the University Trinity St David of Wales in Carmarthen, and I studied acting there for 3 years in Welsh. So that's an interesting thing. And I kind of, I don't know, I wanted to try something different, but I didn't think it was for me after doing the course and after finishing. And I went and I worked in a theatre, as kind of theatre staff, and then I went back into the singing, and that's where the Britain's Got Talent thing came in, and I just gave it a go on that. And I've always loved singing from a young age, and I hadn't, up to that point, I'd done concerts here and there, but I hadn't done anything as big at all as that, and it was a new experience, and I'm quite enjoying the road that it's taking me at the moment.
Absolutely. And you had this big crew that came with you. You had, I think it was your brother and several friends that came down to support you when you did your audition.
Yeah. So that was my brother, and then some friends from university, and a few friends from home as well. So there was a big gang in the audience.
That must help you feel good though, right?
Yeah, 100%. you need that kind of that support. I think it's important in whatever you do in life. You know, you need that support from your friends, from your family, because, you know, especially now, you know, the world is such a terrifying place, and people need their friends, need their support from their family. And at that time, you know, it was something that I really needed, because, you know, I was stopped by Simon in the middle of the audition, and you know, you kind of don't know what to do when that happens. But I heard my brother and my friends shouting from the audience, and that kind of spurred me on to kind of go for it a bit more.
Yeah, bless you. I mean, first of all, the first song you sang was not bad. I know that's what they said, but it was not. And then to be able to sing after that, I just can imagine the nerves must have been insane.
Yeah, the nerves were crazy. It was a surreal experience, because I was asked to go to the theatre for, I think it was about 11:30 in the afternoon, and then I was in the theatre doing different interviews here and there, and I was then just sitting in a room with my friends and with other contestants for ages. And I think I was there at 11:30, and I think it was about 10:30 at night by the time I was called to go to the stage. So I'd been sitting in a room with people I didn't really know, and my friends and my family as well. And, you know, you could hear the people booing, the crowd booing, and then you could hear them cheering. And it was just everything building up inside. And when you're on the stage, it's kind of, oh gosh, it hits you all in one.
I'm sure.
I think the whole adrenaline of the day just got me through that, I think. Because I was absolutely knackered.
I'm sure. And, you know, I mean, it's amazing too, because there have been a lot of fantastic singers that have gone on the show that have got rejected. So the fact that you were able to move on is a big achievement. So what was the next performance like? Was it quite a bit easier because now you knew you were at least selected?
Yeah, the having the golden buzzer pulled a bit of pressure off from having to kind of go back to be selected to go through to the next round, because that's what the process is. If you get 4 yeses, it doesn't mean you go through automatically. You know, you still have to be chosen by the judges. So getting the golden buzzer meant that I didn't have to worry about that, and I could focus fully on the actual singing and the performing. And, you know, I knew I had a lot of work to do vocally from my audition. So I worked quite hard with a vocal coach, and, you know, just to develop my voice and just to get the right songs in the right place.
And so did they also have mentors? Like I know on American Idol and that sort of thing, they'll bring in someone to kind of mentor you guys. Did they do that also?
Yeah, well, that was the vocal coach that helped me really more than anyone. Because, you know, on Britain's Got Talent, there's like different people doing different things. You know, You've got dogs, you've got singers, you've got
That's true.
It's a bit of everything. So I was lucky enough to be working with a really, really good vocal coach as well, and she helped me a lot at that time.
Era dentro te soltanto un sogno, ma presto il sogno sarà realtà. Ora crescerà la tua passione, tra mille sfide ti guiderà, credi in te. Dipende da te.
the show was over, what did you think, like, how are you going to get your next step? Were you thinking about that before Rydian, and I'm probably killing all the Welsh names, I'm sorry, but before he got in touch with you, like, what were you thinking, like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah, it was kind of after the show. It's such a big thing in the country. Everybody's watching it, and there's a lot of pressure to kind of carry on with that career once you've been on the show. And some people carry on, some people don't. And I knew for a fact that I wanted to be a singer, that I want to pursue a career in singing. And at the time, for a while, I wasn't too sure what was going to happen, how things were going to pan out, and luckily enough, I got a message off Rydian, and we got speaking, and he kind of put me on the right path and the right track of where I needed to go and what I needed to do, and we've got a good relationship as friends, and as he's my manager as well now, so it's good. It's a really nice relationship, and it's I'm happy with the development of all that, so it's going well.
And then how did your first album come about? So it's called Chapter 1. Is that was independently sponsored, yes?
It's here, yes.
Yay!
yes. So recording an album was something, I wanted to do as well as, selling out theatres and stuff, that, like I said in my audition on Britain's Got Talent, and I've always wanted to record an album. And to begin with, because over the first maybe year and a half, I was really busy with live performances and didn't really get the time to sit down and look into creating an album. But after a while, talking with Rydian and different producers and stuff like this, we got to work together on this. And Ben Robbins, who's the producer on it, from London, he did a fantastic job with it, and I'm very happy with it. It's kind of songs that I wanted to do songs that maybe people hadn't heard in a classical crossover style before. Although they are, you've got the songs like Nessun Dorma, which is, a staple in any tenor's repertoire, you've got things like Rule the World, which has been done before, but they're favourites of people, and you've always got to have a couple of favourites on an album, I think, just to keep the core audience interested. But I think, I've got my own song on there, which I wrote for the Song for Wales competition, which I won as well recently, and then I've got simpler songs, but things like Just the Way You Are and Creep and Sacrifice. So they're not songs that you'd associate with the classical crossover style, but to do something different with those songs was a new experience for me, and I really enjoyed it.
Now, these songs you kind of grew up with and were quite, close to you.
Yeah, of course. There's songs on here like Sailing, Without You, are songs, and Solitaire, songs that I grew up with, that remember hearing my mum listening to them when I was growing up and stuff like that. So that's the element of, the nicer element of the album, like just to pick songs that I've grown up with. And then on the other hand, songs that I've liked listening to over the years, but I wouldn't associate it with a classical crossover style. There's a George Ezra song on there, a Radiohead, and, Bruno Mars song on there. So they're all a bit out of the box, but I think they work really well in terms of how the whole album has worked out.
Sei la mia donna, la forza degli onti del mare, con i miei suoni, i miei segreti, molto di più. Mi pasci piano ed io torno a esistere, e nel tuo sguardo crescerò. Allora piedi nudi noi, dentro la nostra musica ti ho guardato ridere e sussurrando ho detto tu stasera sei perfetta per me. Nell'oscurità stretti forte poi dentro la nostra musica ho creduto e sempre noi, perché sei un angelo e ti ho aspettato quanto ti ho aspettato, perché tu stasera sei perfetta per me.
So now, who do you listen to for fun? I mean, are you listening to other classical crossover artists, or is it just like mainstream?
I do listen to other artists, you know, predominantly Bocelli, and you know, because when I listen to them, I kind of listen to their voices and the way I sing. I like to, because I can't read any music at all, you see. And I do it all by ear, and I like listening to other tenors and how they pronounce words and how they, you know, say those words, and I think it's quite important for someone who doesn't read music to do that. But in general, music for me, I like a bit of everything, some techno, house, a bit of country in the mix, a bit of everything, a bit of rock and roll, anything really.
I actually think country isn't covered too much in crossover, but I actually think it lends itself quite well because the melodies are so strong in a lot of those that
yes, I agree with you there. Yeah, 100%. And there's always a story, I think, in country music, you know, and it's very similar to classical crossover in that sense. You know, you need the story to get the emotion over and across in the song.
Actually, that's quite impressive that you don't read music, so it's completely by ear.
Completely by ear, yeah.
That's incredible. So how was it?
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know, it's how I work.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone comes into music at a different time, right? So I mean, everyone's background is different. So how does that work? Like on the Britain's Got Talent, they probably threw some pieces at you, so you were just listening to them a lot. And
well, yeah, when we kind of got together and chose the songs for Britain's Got Talent, I had an idea of what songs I wanted to do. So you get into a room with someone on the piano, the vocal coach, the producers, and the directors of the show, and then you kind of sit around and you discuss possible songs, and then I sing maybe a bit of it, and then that we go back and forth like that really, and then that's how it came about to choose the songs that we did in the end, because they're both songs that hadn't been done on the show before, and I think that's really nice, and I want to carry that on. You know, I want to develop classical crossover so it's got more of somewhere to go. You know.
Absolutely. Sorry, that's my dog in the background. She's been a nightmare to me. But yeah. So what are some of the performances you did right after Britain's Got Talent? Did you guys do a big tour afterwards? No,
there was no tour. I don't think that they'd done a tour for a few years. And I don't think they've done one since about 2000 and I'm not too sure, but 2010, 2012, something like that, around that area. I don't think they've done one for a while anyway. But it would have been really nice to do, but we didn't get the opportunity, unfortunately.
Gotcha. But you probably, I mean, your community must have embraced you so much coming back and inviting you to sing various places.
Yes, yeah, 100%. The support from the local village and stuff around here was incredible. You know, they had a big screen in the car park of the town, and there's about 4,000 people watching the final. You know, in the village. So
Wow.
it was quite special. Yeah.
And so what are some of your goals to do with it? I know you said you wanted to sell out concerts, like after being on a big production like Britain's Got Talent. Do you kind of have ideas of stuff you want to bring to your show?
Yeah, 100%. I like that kind of the production aspect of a show, you know, because it was something that we kind of did whilst I was in university. So I like that, the ideas and looking at different staging. I like all of that. Yeah, after the show, you know, you're asked to do numerous different shows in numerous different venues, and not always you can have the production you'd like.
Yeah.
But you know, and budget doesn't allow for it sometimes. But you know, you make the best of what you can. And no, I enjoy that, and that's definitely something that I want to carry on doing is the production side of things as well.
So now it looks like you've got a little bit of a music setup. I know you've been recording videos from home, and I'm always fascinated to see what people have. So what kind of mic do you have?
Oh, it's just a condenser mic here. It's just a small little thing. And then it's just plugged into like a mixing desk. I'm not too technical with everything, but I know the basics. And that's all I need to know at the moment.
Well, I mean, it's pushing all of us too to kind of find new mediums, and I'm sure are you recording yourself, or do you have like someone recording you when you do your videos?
No, I record it. It's just through my phone. I record.
That's good quality.
Yeah. It's good. It's one of the new iPhones, so it's quite good quality. And it's an easy setup, you know, and it's something that we're going to have to adapt to for a while. I think, you know, doing these videos, recording and online concerts and stuff. It's something that we're going to have to, as singers, are going to have to be doing for a long time, I think, because I don't know when we'll be back on those stages like it used to be. And, you know, from what I gather, you know, venues are going to have to social distance, and it's not going to be the same for a long, long time, which is a shame, because that's one thing that I absolutely loved, was the atmosphere in the theatre. You know, when you hear the audience all coming in. Is that the dog again? Yeah, so when you hear the hustle and bustle of the audience arriving, and you start feeling the adrenaline before the show, and that gives you a real good buzz. And you know, I don't know when we're going to be feeling that again, but it's a shame. But it's something we have to do, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I was hearing an idea of like drive-in concerts. You know, they used to do that with the movies back in the day. We don't know what it's going to end up being, so it'll be very interesting to see. Have you done, some people have been doing like outdoor concerts to their neighbors. Have you thought about doing that in your neighborhood?
Not yet, no, because, you know, I'm not going to paint it as the whole thing's been a wonderful time, you know, for a singer. It's been very, very hard, to be fair. And at the beginning of all this, when we were in lockdown at the beginning, it was, for me, I just didn't want to do anything. I was, and I'm sure other people, you know, have gone through that in this time, you know, and it's only natural. But then, you know, I thought, you know, you have to kind of do something here to kind of give yourself a bit of motivation and this, that, and the other. So I did an online concert, and then I started doing these weekly videos and stuff, and that's helped a lot, you know. Yeah, we'll just keep going how we are at the moment, and then see how things turn out. That's all we can do at the moment, I think.
Yeah. And your concert got, I don't know, last time I saw it was like maybe 9,000 views. I'm sure it's past that by now. So you've got a lot of people joining and enjoying that with you, who are also isolated, and it's just great to be able to have that community. But I think also...
Yeah, that's the thing with it's online, on the online concert. The plus side of it is, you know, you can you can have a concert online, although it's not the same as being in a live venue. You know, I can reach out to maybe people who wouldn't be able to see me, you know what I mean, from across the world. You know, there's people from Canada, America, you know, all over the world, Europe watching. So it was, for that aspect of things, it's a really good thing to do, so they can actually see a live performance of some sort.
Yes, yes. And your album, Chapter 1, is it on streaming platforms?
Yeah, the album's on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all the rest of them, and it's on my website, gruffywyn.com as well. So yeah, it's everywhere.
So guys, stream, especially right now. I mean, it's always important to support indie artists, but right now is a good time to stream and buy records to keep supporting.
Yes, yeah. And I am releasing another single in this time as well, so hopefully that won't be too long. But yeah, just keep an eye out on the social medias and everything for the latest news.
Any hint of what kind of song you're covering this time?
A very, very special one, and it's a very, very well-known classic. So yeah.
Well, we're gonna definitely look forward to that. So what are some of the other kind of music you'd like to do? I feel like it'd be fun to hear you sing like Men of Harlech or something.
What, now?
No, not now. I wouldn't do that to you.
I think, oh gosh, I wasn't asked to sing.
On the spot. No. No worries. But I mean, in the future, like some of your ideas of covers and such.
Oh no, of course, yeah. Like the idea is to in the future to release a full Welsh album, you know, for my Welsh fans and people at home. And I've kind of been toying with the idea of well, I am going to do a full classical album, but I've been toying with the idea of kind of doing rock songs in a classical crossover style. So it'd be, you know, the rocky songs, but doing it in my style. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But that's in the long future. But a lot of things to look forward to, and a lot of things happening in my head, but not everywhere else at the moment.
Another great thing some people are getting to do is like online collaboration. So if you could do like a virtual collaboration with any musical person, who would that be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not too sure. You know, there's a lot of artists at the moment out there that could be nice to do. Yeah, off the top of my head, I couldn't name you one person specifically. There's quite a few. You know, the list is quite long.
I'm sure. Well, it's been so fun talking to you.
And you as well.
Thanks for joining us for this concert, and everyone please go out, buy his album, continue to support indie artists right now. Really nice talking to you. Sorry again for my terrible Welsh. I've been a fan of Charlotte forever, Charlotte Church, so I love Wales. I've been to Wales, but my pronunciation is dreadful.
Oh, no problem at all. No, it's good to speak to you anyway.
Have a good rest of your evening.